early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
All right, folks, we're back. Yes, Thursday. Today's Friday. We are back once again. I am your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. It's not the size of the network, but the truth of the network that counts. And that's why you tune in, and that's why we ask you to tell your neighbors, your friends. We are in Studio B. This is our last broadcast from Studio B. I won't say for the year. You never know when we may return. But for that, we will be in another studio come Monday. We will in this studio for a week, moving right along. Diane, it's Friday. You know, I almost called in sick today, but I've never done that. Well, it's not I've never called in sick. I've had the 103 fever, delirious. Well, that's on any given day, right? The flu, whatever. There's been times, but I still get up and attempt to go to work. I'm stopped. I mean, I can't make it, but I can't call in. I used to joke if somebody would call in sick, I would say, "What hospital are you in? I'll visit you." I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know why. It's Friday. It's Friday. All right. So, folks, let's get serious. We have a lot to do. Now, if you're in Georgia, and you hear the hype that they are putting out this major tax cut, right? A major tax cut. And they're going to, is it send back? Are they going to send you $250 or $500 or whatever? They're going to send you $250 or $500, and the people will cheer as Governor Kemp gets a 31% pay raise, right? 31%. No joke. No joke. Give me number 98. Hi, Diane. How are you? That's right. If you are out there from sea to shining sea, our Governor Kemp would be tied with Kathy Hochul in New York. Kemp would be tied for the nation's highest paid governor under a salary hike. Yes, give me number 99. Yes, we will talk about this in the Georgia Hour. I just thought you would like to know right out of the box. If you are sitting home, 37. I'm incorrect. Give me number 99. Brian Kemp would be tied with the highest paid governor in the nation. The governor's pay would raise from 182 to 250 grand, a 37% pay hike. That means the two-term Republican would earn the same amount as Kathy Hochul. 37%. Now, here's what I want you to do. As soon as the show's over, I want you to get your ass out there by that mailbox, and I don't want you to leave till you get that check for $250 from Georgia, where they pat you on the head and people cheer. Is it $500? But I want you to stand right out there till you get your $500, while he gets 37% pay hike to 250 grand. Wasn't my intent to start there. Anyhow, take that down. Wow. Spend it if you got it. Spend it if you got it, right? Now, give me number 37. Everybody relax. I did not get a pay increase. I did not get a 37% raise. I did not. Okay? I did not. But my Trump cred, as they try to question, there it is, my Trump cred just went up another $1 or $2. This is a gift I received in the mail. I'll look you right in the eye. BKP, I don't have this purchase power. I'm not Governor Kemp. I haven't received my $500. Trust me, I'm still on cheap cigars. Don't try that at home, kids. But I'm not wearing it today because I have to take it to a jeweler and have some links adjusted in the wrist. That is a gift I received in the mail. And let me say thank you very much. There you go. 4547. Take that down. Diane, as soon as this show is over, I want your ass right out there by the mailbox waiting for your $500. Don't leave till you get it. It's a mood, man. I mean, you just can't make it up. The money they spend, the corruption. Well, corruption, speaking of corruption, I promise we will get this rolling here in just a moment. Speaking of corruption, where's it at? You can't keep a good corrupt politician down. Give me 106. I'm sorry. Might be insensitive, but it's Friday. It's my day. There you go. So speaking of corruption in Georgia, we'll stay here just for a minute. You can't keep a good corrupt politician down. Terry England is back. Terry England, the House Speaker John Burns' chief of staff, he had an accident. He almost got killed. He did. He is recovering. I feel he's a very corrupt politician. He fits right in with the whole corrupt swamp. That's my feeling. Can't keep a good corrupt politician down. That happens to be my opinion. Take that down. All right, so I probably should get the show started, right, Diane? We got trouble. Trouble. Now, you know the whole Peach crew, that the Godzilla bullshit. I shouldn't say that Friday. I might have kids watching. John Fredericks. So yesterday, Just wait for the Georgia hour. I promise we're going to get to some national stuff. In Georgia, well, we're ushering right in. We're ushering in. Give me number 41. California. We are ushering in California right as fast as we can. In Georgia, this is a bill. The Freedom Caucus, yesterday, we were pushing yesterday to vote no. This is Mallory Staples from the Freedom Caucus. Tell your senator to vote no on SB 9. SB 9 is headed to the Georgia State Senate. The Georgia House of Representatives already dropped the ball, but we're counting on our senators, okay? Vote no. And here it is, number 42, Mallory Staples from the Freedom Caucus, the Georgia Freedom Caucus, put out a video plea yesterday to vote no on this. Call your rep and tell them to vote no on SB 9. Guess who went against MAGA? Guess who went against, and if you're out there from sea to shining sea, Charlize Byrd is the chair of the Georgia State Freedom Caucus, just so you know, in Georgia. And this bill goes against MAGA. We'll play it in the Georgia hour, but give me number 52. She's telling you to vote no. The Freedom Caucus is telling you to vote no. But Debbie Dooley, Dirty Deeds, we suspect done dirt cheap here, put out a notice yesterday asking people to vote yes. She is anti-MAGA. Just saying. Wow. All right, take that down. Now, here's another one. Number 5. I think they called every morning. Kamala called every morning and said, is he dead? I'm serious. Is he dead? Biden, their time. Dems plan for Biden to withdraw from presidential race or just die in office. As far as back as 2023, scathing new book claims. New book. Kamala. Front desk. Is he dead? We don't know. I mean, we heard he was up wandering all night in the presidential, residence, naked all around and wandering, and Jill have to, we don't know. So I guess on a daily basis, they were checking to see if Joe died. Now, how about this, okay? Last night, Elon Musk, Doge, went on Fox, did a 15-minute interview. We're going to play it and break it down. Diane, when we get to number 12, V12, I am going to have some stop and go points, okay? And I want to break that down. But Trump to cut between 8 and 50% of the staff at 22 government agencies, okay? That's number 1. Sorry, Diane, I didn't tell you that. And then we're going to break this one down. RFK Jr. plans to slash 20,000 HHS jobs and latest Doge-inspired purge of federal workers. Now, Human Services workforce eliminated 13 of agencies' divisions. I need you to report to HR. Which one? There's 92. And I'm going to say this. There's some caution around cutting government waste now and fraud, because I do not run with polling, but polling data is starting to show that most Americans, when they hear that, there's 13 HR departments, when they hear that, Americans, in my opinion, they don't want your Social Security check cut, and there's no plan to do that. They do not want VA veterans to go without their benefits, health care, their needs to be met, and we plan to do that. They don't want Medicaid cut. I mean, people work their whole life, and they don't want Medicaid cut, and it's for some, although it's very enormous dollar-wise. So when I say the least we could do for our seniors, they don't want that cut. But when they start to hear 13 HR departments, right? You have to remember, these are the same Americans that know that the government gave illegals debit cards with $5,000. These are the same Americans that know that the Commodore Hotel or whatever it is, the hotels, motels, Holiday Inn, all the above, no reference really to the Holiday Inn. I don't want them coming after me. Boom. I may need to stay there in the future. But anyhow, all these hotels and these buildings that we remodeled and renovated and just gave to illegals in the inner cities, we packed them full. We played videos. These are the same Americans that hear this. You know, Joe Scarborough, they'll yell VA cuts. They'll go on CNN, Caitlin Collins, these nasty people talk about VA cuts. There's no VA cuts. But they never have done a story. They haven't done any stories in the past several years about veterans living in tents on the streets in LA or homeless. They don't do anything about the mental illness of a veteran, sad to say, that is struggling, that's sleeping on a sewer grate for steam to come up for heat in New York City, just putting the facts out there, that needs help. No, none whatsoever. So 22,000 jobs are going to be cut. Here is one we got to talk about because they're trying to spin this as they try to spin everything. Trump pulls nomination for top cabinet pick in shock move. Elise Stefanik was picked to be the UN ambassador, U.S. ambassador to the UN. Trump pulled the pick. Now, this is fresh off the Republican loss in Pennsylvania. We'll talk about that, all right? And there's two special elections going on in Florida, I think the 6th district and the 1st district. The one where Mike Waltz was pulled for NSA, National Security Advisor in Florida, he was pulled. I think that's Florida 6. And then you have Florida 1, where Matt Gaetz is now over at some network. I like OAN. I have nothing against them, but I mean, Matt Gaetz is over there, supposed to be the AG. Pam Bondi is the co-host of Fox. She has a second job. She can't make it on just one, so she has to go second shift over to Fox. The AG, Pam Bondi. So that's District 1. And then Elise Stefanik's district, she won that. Elise Stefanik's district in New York is like a Trump plus 20. But Trump, Pennsylvania State Senate district in Lancaster, a Trump plus 15, went to a Democrat. So there's a lot of spin around this, what's going on. We will discuss that. Now, Signalgate. Yeah, that's out there. By the way, number 10, the judge, we know who it is, right? The judge has demanded they preserve all of these signal documents, everything to do with Signalgate. They preserve it. All right, so let me see what else I have here. Here it is. Go ahead. Can you give me number 17? Judge moves to prevent Hegseth, Waltz, and others from deleting Houthi texts. Judge Boasberg? How did this judge get assigned to every case? Interesting. What else is top of the list? I don't want to. This is a spoiler alert. It seems to me that Vladimir Putin is not dying. Now, Zelensky said yesterday he was dying any day now, I guess. But Putin is not coming across as he is dying. And he has some things happening. Just exactly. Now, look here. No, they want the French army. I can't go with that one yet. Let's go with this one. Video 30. Not video 30, I'm sorry, number 30. French President, number 30, Macron, announces plan for reassurance force in Ukraine. That, by the way, give me video 10.
She, you're saying, is a male.
Well, 1,000%. She was born a man, lived as a man for 30 years, and then transitioned at some time in the 80s. Emmanuel Macron, angrily denies the rumors his wife's a man, and he was like all stressed out and was like, it's not true. And I'm like, what the hell's going on in France like that? Like the president has to come out and make a statement on this at all.
Macron, reassurance force. Well, I don't know what one has to do with the other. I just had to do it. All right, folks. When we return, we have to do that one. Yep, we got to do that one. So, I got to hold that one. I know you're going to get upset. Oh, by the way, I had this one yesterday. Let me get it out of the way. Number 46. Now, Ron DeSantis plans on, you can work the third shift. I don't know if this is I know it's true, but Florida considers easing child labor laws to make up for fewer illegal workers. It would make it legal for children as young as 14 to work the graveyard shift on school nights. The hours at issue are between 11 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. So before the first bell rings for 9th grade algebra, I have to run in from the graveyard shift. It's okay. I got no problem, Get a job. Get out and get a job, you lazy bum, and then go to school. Sorry. All right, folks, when we return, what does it mean that Elise Stefanik has been removed as UN ambassador? What does that exactly mean? And what's going on? Why are they backing away and not discussing Ukraine and Russia? We could do that in about 3 minutes, and then we'll move on to some really big stories this morning. By the way, Canada is mad. Take a break.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, wait till you see the selection. Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Not the size of the network, but the truth of the network. Good morning, Diane. Now, last night, there very good interview with Elon Musk concerning Doge, and we're going to work on that. Also, we're going to break down the political side and the spin that they're trying to make out of Trump pulling Elise Stefanik's nomination to be U.S. UN ambassador. We're going to get right into that. So let's start here. I want to get this out of the way, and I don't mean that. Diane, I just sent you a new picture. All right. Could you get that one? Because I forgot to post it. It's 109. And if you can get that one and go ahead and put it up. So we, the American people, we've spent billions of dollars, and we'll just use it because it's open-ended. We truly don't have the numbers. We know as Elon Musk and Doge and people start digging into some of these agencies, we know they're like the Pentagon, there's trillions we can't find. So we'll just use billions with an S and go from there. But as they're talking about Signal and the Houthi rebels attacking Israel, and to me, all of this being the possibility to bring a full-scale war with Iran. Okay, this has the makings of all the connecting the dots because the military-industrial complex has to have somewhere else to go. I have a question concerning Ukraine-Russia. Remember that whole Ukraine-Russia thing that's going on over there. Now, Europe is determined to continue the Biden legacy and move forward with trying to start World War III. You don't see this reported on any of the networks. Now, this audience right here, you're tuned in somewhere else. I mean, besides here, listening to conservative media, we'll call it that. But if you're out there on ABC, NBC, CBS, Martha Raddatz, George Stephanopoulos, that hard-hitting Margaret Brennan on CBS on Sunday, right? Even on Fox News, if you're out there and you follow everything, there's things you don't see. So the UK and France will not let go, and Europe will not let go. Now, we brought this to you a while back. The UK and Ukraine sign a landmark 100-year partnership to deepen security ties and strengthen partnership for future generations. The UK and Ukraine will sign a historic partnership as the Prime Minister travels to the country to meet Zelensky, and this is June 16th. So we showed you this. When Zelensky's selling these minerals, now he keeps saying the U.S. is putting a gun to his head to sign a mineral deal. Ukraine no longer has the collateral to meet the debt. Now, the UK and France are upset because this goes way back and we don't have the clips, but you know this. You know, in the very beginning, Trump put out maybe Zelensky's not there anymore. How long ago was that? 2 months ago? Was it a week after Trump took office? 2 weeks? We're in day, 65, whatever? Remember that? Couple little one-liners? Maybe, there needs to be an election. Right? So Trump laid that groundwork knowing all along. The UK, they signed a 100-year deal. Now, if Zelensky is gone and the parliament is gone and there's a new government put in place, maybe their deal is up. So Zelensky's out making deals. Europe is really upset. Now, Putin is talking like a real madman because Putin is saying, let's get rid of Zelensky. Let's get rid of the parliament. Let's put a new government in place for a lasting peace for Russia and Europe. Well, God, you don't want a madman talking like that. So I told you, now they no longer discuss it because there's not enough money, folks. There's not enough money. There's not enough deals in Ukraine and the French. So let me go through just a couple of the headlines over there this morning. And then we promise we will get to Doge. Now, give me the UK Telegraph. Number 11. Trump's plan to force Ukraine to restore Putin's gas empire. I told you that yesterday. We'll get to that in a minute. The SWIFT system, the clearinghouse, the exchange rates. It's how it works. Everything funnels through there. Remember that? Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2. Germany needs it. So America holds a gun to Zelensky's head with unprecedented reparation demands. Really? Billions and billions of dollars, all right? Give me number. By the way, number 21. These are, I'm going through there. Lavrov is discussing Ukraine with China on April 1st. The Chinese, his equivalent partner from China, will be in, he will be visiting on April 1st. They will be discussing the Ukraine deal. I have a question that's really going to knock your socks off. Here is straight from Russia, not from any of our media. Number 22. Putin proposes introducing UN external governance in UK to hold elections. Folks, I have told you all along, our team is working to reestablish relationship with Russia. They had an emergency meeting of 30-some countries over in Europe yesterday. Oh, by the way, Canada is mad at us. So they had it yesterday. This guy, I told you all along, Russia is not meeting with our delegation to find an agreement with Vladimir Zelensky. He's irrelevant. They don't acknowledge him. They do in a negative way, but as far as a peace deal moving forward, divvying up the country, whatever they may do, they don't see Zelensky or the current corrupt parliament as part of it. Right? There you go. Now, give me video 1. This happened at about 4:30 this morning. Video 1 from CNN. Listen close.
As European leaders deliver a show of support for Ukraine, Vladimir Putin is making it clear he wants the Ukrainian president removed from power. The Russian president called for a temporary administration in Ukraine, adding that he wants, quote, the root causes that led to today's situation eliminated. Here he is.
In principle, of course, it would be possible under the auspices of the UN, with the United States, even with European countries, and of course with our partners and friends, to discuss the possibility of introducing temporary administration in Ukraine. For what? In order to hold democratic elections, in order to bring to power a viable government that enjoys the people's trust, and then begin negotiations with it on a peace treaty.
While speaking to a submarine crew in Murmansk, President Putin also said Russia is willing to work with Europe, but accused its leaders of always trying to lead us by the nose. Many of those Western leaders gathered in Paris Thursday for a so-called Coalition of the Willing summit, and they agreed now isn't the time to lift restrictions on Moscow after it demanded some sanctions relief earlier this week. The European stance sends a pointed message to the Trump administration, which said it was considering Russia's demands, but the British Prime Minister said sanctions against the Kremlin should actually be strengthened. Ukraine's president called on the U.S. to step up its game. Volodymyr Zelensky also addressed negotiations with the U.S. over a rare earth minerals deal. Here he is.
The terms keep changing, and it seems to me as if we have already agreed there will be a framework agreement, and then a full agreement. And now, as I understand, Ukrainian and American teams are working on this because America is now changing these terms.
Sources tell CNN that the Trump administration's latest proposal would give the U.S. even more access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals.
We're not making a deal with Zelensky. Zelensky's like, hey, the U.S., you have to step up. The coalition of the willing, right? Putin's very clear. He says they have to remove the root of the problem. He calls it Zelensky. Put democratic elections in. I know what you're saying. Oh, wow, this is the guy that wins by 86%. His elections are safe and secure, much like ours. Okay? An honest parliament, an honest government. I mean, that's what he says. I mean, I know those are the words of a madman, according to Joe Scarborough and others, a killer. I get it. But he is not negotiating for troops and Zelensky and their parliament. It's not happening. All right? UK has to go, they have to go to their people over there and say, we got a deal. They're in a mess. Because if they bail, they got a problem. So next, Moscow Times, number 23, Putin floats UN-backed transitional government in Ukraine. All right. Number 24, just throw this in the mix. Putin believes, this is from the Moscow Times, Trump is serious about annexing Greenland. Here you go, Sputnik. Number 25, EU leaders fear peace in Ukraine, French army veteran. Over in the corner, Ukrainian parliament backs Putin's plan on Ukraine. That's what he says. Look at Stammer and Macron. Now, they want World War III, and Biden was in on it. And Europe is in on it. 26. He is saying that their parliament is okay with a temporary administration to be put in place. That the parliament, Putin is trying to separate, okay, the parliament in Ukraine from Zelensky. 27, U.S. President Donald Trump's efforts to secure peace in Ukraine have caused panic among European leaders like Emmanuel Macron, Stammer. It's caused panic. Number 28, key points of Putin's ideal to place Ukraine under UN control. Number 29, this is from Russia Today. I understand it's not from Good Morning America. France and UK rebrand possible military deployment to Ukraine. Not going to happen. I mean, he's not going to allow it to happen. Here you go. You have Macron, number 30, a reassurance force. All right? A reassurance force. Number 31, leaders from nearly 30 countries, the coalition of the willing. Leaders from nearly 30 countries and NATO and EU chiefs met in France's capital to discuss bolstering aid to Kiev and deploying European troops to secure long-term peace. Now, folks, there's nothing about deploying troops to secure peace. It's not going to happen. You're not going to pour troops into Ukraine to secure peace. Give me number 32. France Macron announces plan for reassurance force. The Kiev Independent leaders from 31 countries gather for Paris summit, right? 33, the Kiev Independent leaders from 31 countries gather for Paris summit to strengthen support for Ukraine, discuss peace. Now, they've had 3 years to discuss peace. They're not discussing any peace. That is a fact. None. Number 45, I gave this to you yesterday. CEO not ruling out return of Nord Stream gas pipelines. I showed you that earlier. And then number 48, U.S. looking for proper way to reconnect Russia to the SWIFT. That's the exchange. That's where you purchase. That's the clearinghouse, as I call it, SWIFT. So, folks, let's see. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Nothing here says that Vladimir Putin is prepared to allow troops in Ukraine, Zelensky to stay, the parliament to stay, to sell all the minerals all over the world, get rid of the Ukrainian assets for collateral to everyone when he won the war. There's nothing out there that points to that. I have a question, and then we're going to take a break. And we're going to come back, and it's Doge time. Then we're going to do politics. Here's my question. And this is pretty out there. But right now, I don't see us traveling down the same road as Europe. Right now, I don't see the turnaround that Trump wants to do in this country economically to be something that Europe's going to support at all, in no way whatsoever. And I'm going to show you that after these messages. Are we going to be, and just relax here, Europe's determined they're going to have World War III. They're determined they're going to World War III with Russia. Russia has to be stopped, okay? Are we going to World War III with Russia, with Europe? Are we? Because they're building a coalition of the willing. You're not in it. Canada's basically declared war against you and I. By the way, Canada's mad. Canada says they can't trust us. So, if there's a war, would we be more aligned with Russia right now? If they are we going to stay at home? If Europe drags themselves into a war? Just saying. And will there be war with Iran over the Houthis? And interestingly, the CIA signal group, the exposed chat, happened to be about attacks, nothing in Russia, nothing in Ukraine, nothing around the world, but connected to Israel and Iran and the Houthi rebels. That's interesting. All right, when we come back, we're going to doge it for just a couple minutes, and then politics. I'm your host, BKP. Take a brief break. We'll be right back.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, wait till you see the selection. Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Folks, I'm back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics from BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. Good morning, Diane. I neglected to say in that last segment that Vladimir Putin made those comments aboard a nuclear sub. He was aboard a nuclear sub. Now, just 2 days ago, Zelensky said he would be dead soon. So let's go with this. We're going to run through this briefly. Number one, we said earlier, Doge. Trump to cut 8% and 50% of the staff. Now, to privatize the economy, everything has to click. We have to get the tax cuts properly. We have to cut spending. Spending has to be cut. The budget deficit has to shrink. Revenue has to go up. That's through growth. And the tax revenue, not by increasing taxes, increasing growth, cutting spending. All these things can go together for prosperity. Can't print your way into prosperity. But that being said, they want you to believe. I will tell you this. You're going to see, I was watching this morning, Morning Joe, and not that they were saying anything real positive, but right now all of the media is struggling with, people are not really upset over Doge, not as much as they want you to believe. I mean, they've terrorized, vandalized, and attacked Tesla, Elon Musk, his stock. They've done everything they could possibly do, and President Trump presses forward. Now, I will say this, and I'm going to put the Signal situation right now. Trump cannot flinch, my opinion. He cannot flinch. Now, he could remove a low-level staffer to say, we don't allow leaking. They could do that. But as far as flinching and letting the media think they won and there's a crack and they could start prying it open, I don't think he should do that. I don't think he should flinch. Just keep moving. keep plowing forward. Now, on Doge, and we're going to get to the cars in just a minute, in a moment. So, number 2, Diane, I don't know how much of this we're going to play, but people are tired, and I told you this yesterday. They're not cutting VA benefits. They're not. They're not cutting Social Security. They're not cutting. They're not cutting Social Security, VA benefits. All right, and they're not cutting Medicare. But the fact is, we have to do some things to reorganize, we'll call it that, all of these programs, or they will not exist. Bottom line. And they're having trouble over at Morning Joe. I'll use that one, or CNN. I'll use those. They're having trouble with trying to sell the American people that Social Security is going to get cut while HHS has 24 HR departments. I mean, common sense will tell you if you cut the HR departments from 20 or whatever there is, 14 down to 3, and then combine those 3 to handle everything necessary, the savings could go 50% back into the Treasury, and 50% could go to benefiting veterans or benefiting research, or benefits in any way whatsoever that you have coming. Not cutting those. And they're struggling because that's what people are saying. Well, wait a minute. So let's get into, as they're trying to talk about other things, let me make sure I have it here. Let's start with this one. Now, Diane, I'm going to be giving you the high sign on when I want you to stop and move forward. So let me run through a couple of the graphics that might be out there. We told you this, number 3, RFK Jr. plans to slash 20,000 jobs. I want to run through these graphics. Here you go. Number 6, Elon Musk says Doge's $1 trillion target, it's achievable without cutting Social Security. You're going to hear that in a moment. Let's see. Oh, those are Signalgate. I got to get past those. Here you go, number 20. 10,000 federal. Now, there's a total of 20,000. All right. 10,000 federal health workers to be laid off. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announces a major restructuring of Health and Human Services Department, which now employs about 82,000. So we're going to be going from 82K down to, hold on, I had it here a moment ago. The 82K going down about 20 from that. Let me make sure I run through here and get the rest of the graphics we want to put up before we go to the Doge report from last night. Give me number. I'm right there. Relax. I should be close. Number 57. Trump was right about everything. Elon Musk is at the table. And he also says there's a point where things will be in motion that maybe he's not in the front doing this on a daily basis. Number 61, Musk. We actually want to be careful in our cuts. Number 62, Musk says Doge wants to be careful with federal government cuts. They're struggling on how to discuss this because it's wildly popular with the American people. And number 72, HHS plans to shutter or downsize several health agencies, including at the CDC. 73, RFK Jr. plans 10,000 job cuts and major restructuring of health department. Let's see here what else we have. Just running through here. Those are the, here you go, the health department. Number 87, Trump administration job cuts in the health department. 3,500 full-time Food and Drug Administration employees, 2,400 employees from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, 1,200 employees from the National Institute of Health, 300 employees from the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid. Now, these are all duplicated jobs. This has nothing to do with cutting services, nothing at all. Let's listen to this interview last night. Let's go to video 12. Like I said, Diane, I'm going to want to stop and start on this video. Video 12.
You know, first let me start with you, Elon. What are the budgetary savings goals, and how much do you think you've achieved so far?
Our goal is to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion. From a nominal deficit of $2 trillion to try to cut the deficit in half to $1 trillion. Or looked at it in total federal spending to drop the federal spending from $7 trillion to $6 trillion. We want to reduce the spending by eliminating waste and fraud, reduce the spending by 15%, which seems really quite achievable. The government is not efficient, and there's a lot of waste and fraud. So we feel confident that a 15% reduction can be done without affecting any of the critical government services.
I'm going to talk to all the guys.
If not making it better.
I'm going to talk to all the guys here about the specifics, but for you, what's the most astonishing thing you've found out in this process?
The sheer amount of waste and fraud in the government. It is astonishing. It's mind-blowing. We routinely encounter wastes of $1 billion or more, casually. For example, like the simple survey that was literally 10-question survey that you could do with SurveyMonkey, cost you about $10,000. The government was being charged almost $1 billion for that.
For just the survey?
$1 billion for a simple online survey. Do you like the national park? And then there appeared to be no feedback loop for what would be done with that survey. So the survey would just go into nothing. It was like insane.
You technically are a special government employee. And
all right, we're going to start right back with the special government employee. Cut our spending from 7 to 6 trillion. Reduce spending by 15%. Now, something he continues to reiterate, not just waste, fraud. He continues. Now, this is where Pam Bondi, I'm just telling you, fraud. Not just waste, fraud. He continues to say it's enormous, it's mind-blowing. Were you thinking Family Feud like a survey? Survey says $1 billion for a survey. Do you like the park? But the survey went nowhere. It didn't go back to anyone. $1 billion. They're having a hard time fighting this. This is why you don't hear that argument. Now, I watched 4 hours worth of deep state corporate corrupt media. They're not airing this. They're not denying this. In fact, on Morning Joe, they're saying, well, we all know for years that cuts should be made, but it's not the corporate world So we have to navigate through those cuts. They're making excuses, but they're not arguing with it. He's an employee. This is where he addresses how long he'll be there. Go ahead and go back right where you left off. It's fine.
You're supposed to be 130 days. Are you going to continue past that, or do you think that's what you're going to do? Or?
Well, I think we will have accomplished most of the work required to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion within that time frame.
So in that time frame, 130 days, and the process is a report at some point at 100 days? Or?
Not really a report. We are cutting the waste and fraud in real time. So every day that passes, our goal is to reduce the waste and fraud by $4 billion a day, every day, 7 days a week. And so far, we are succeeding.
And I'm going to talk to the specifics, but there obviously are DOGE critics who are reading all kinds of stuff. Obviously, lawmakers on the other side of the aisle are attacking you, and they characterize the approach as this: fire, ready, and then aim. And how do you approach that? How do you respond to that?
Well, I do agree that we actually want to be careful in the cuts. So we want to measure twice, if not thrice, and cut once. Actually, that is our approach. They may characterize it as shooting from the hip, but it is anything but that. Which is not to say that we don't make mistakes. If we were to approach this with the standard of making no mistakes at all, that would be like saying someone in baseball's got to bat 1,000. That's impossible. So when we do make mistakes, we correct them quickly, and we move on.
Some people say this shouldn't take a rocket scientist. Steve Davis, you are a rocket scientist.
You used to be.
Yeah, I know. And now essentially you're the chief operating officer of DOGE, day-to-day operations. Fair to say?
Yeah, part of the DOGE team.
So how did you end up here? What's the biggest challenge you see?
The reason I'm here, which is probably for many, is that I think the goal is incredibly inspiring. I think most of the taxpayers in the country would agree that in order to have the country going bankrupt would be a very bad thing, and therefore the country going not bankrupt is a good thing. That all of us are willing to kind of put our lives on hold in order to do. I think the thing that's special right now is we actually believe there's a chance to succeed. That there's an administration that's supportive and a great cabinet and just a great group that will actually make success a possible outcome. And I think that's, given the inspiring mission and given the non.
All right, I want to go right back where he's at, Diane. That's really good. Thank you. He says, hey, we're doing this in real time. Our goal is $4 billion a day, 7 days a week, right? We're not batting 1,000. We agree with that. When we see something, we immediately address it. And Steve, now what's going to be important here, and this interview is very good because Steve here is a rocket scientist. And what does he say? Bankrupt, the country going bankrupt. And you've heard Elon Musk say multiple times with Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, you've heard Elon Musk say there is no choice. We don't have this option, folks. The interest on the debt tips, and I'm reluctant to say game over, but it's game over. And listen to Steve say, it's very important. You have to have an administration to get on board. You cannot do this without Donald Trump. And you can't do this without Donald Trump giving Elon Musk the green light. And these people are putting their lives on hold. And you hear this guy, it's not Elon Musk. It's an opportunity to save the country. Continue, Diane, right where it's at.
A chance of success, it was worth doing.
Yeah, I'd just like to sort of reemphasize that point. The success of DOGE is only possible with President Trump and with the outstanding cabinet that he selected. It would be impossible without the support of the president and the cabinet.
But you're finding the money. I mean, it's big numbers, right?
Yeah, like Elon said, the minimum impulse bid is often $1 billion. So, for example, the $830 million, which was the online survey, that's an enormous amount of money that wouldn't have been found if the DOJ team wasn't working with it, in that case, the Department of Interior. But then taking it one step further, DOJ then publishes these things on our website for maximum transparency. So now the general public, it would have been impossible for the general public to have seen that. Now anyone can just log into DOJ.gov anytime and see these payments. As they're not yet in real time, they're close, but they'll probably be in real time within the next few weeks.
But the process, it still involves Congress, right? At some level?
We try to keep Congress as informed as possible, but the law does say that money needs to be spent correctly. It should not be spent fraudulently or wastefully. It's not contrary to Congress to avoid waste and fraud. It is consistent with the law and consistent with Congress. And we've seen actually great support, at least from the Republican side of the House, and occasionally some Democrats too. It's nice to see people cross the aisle once in a while. But usually when they attack DOJ, they never attack any of the specifics. So they'll say what we're doing is somehow unconstitutional or illegal or whatever. We're like, well, which line of the cost savings do you disagree with? And they can't point to any. And we list them all on DOJ.gov and the DOJ handle on X. And you'll see just outrageous things, one outrageous thing after another.
Joe Gabbia, besides Elon, you're one of several billionaires here.
One outrageous thing after another. They just get angry. They just come out and they get angry, and they maybe some throw a Molotov cocktail at a Tesla. That's all they do. They don't come out and read line items and say, oh, you know what? Or they find where Elon's talking about Doge that, they don't bat 1,000 and they're going to rehire back 22 people here. Oh, look what they did. They made a mistake. No. So remember something he said, okay? Because I have to tell you, this is a really great interview. This is not Joe Rogan. This is not a podcast. Waste and fraudulent. They keep saying, can you bypass Congress? Congress doesn't have the ability to approve fraudulent spending. They're not allowed to say, well, you found fraudulent? And keep in mind, they will yell all the time that this is the job of the IG, the Inspector General. That's why, now think about our system. That's why all these departments have an IG assigned to them. And Trump fired all these IGs. They're useless, most of these IGs. They're useless. And they're supposed to be Inspector Generals, independent, nonpartisan, review departments, and report waste, fraud, and abuse. Congress cannot approve. It's not constitutional to approve waste or fraudulent spending. So I just like this. The website. American people can go to the website and see this. Continue with the interview.
You're co-founder of Airbnb, and you wanted to help out.
I bumped into Anthony and Elon probably back in February, and they told me something about a mine that was dealt with retirement, and they said they needed somebody to help out to fix retirement in the government. I love the challenge, so I jumped on board, and it turns out there is actually a mine in Pennsylvania that houses every paper document for the retirement process in the government. Now picture this. This giant cave has 22,000 filing cabinets, stacked 10 high to house 400 million pieces of paper. It's a process that started in the 1950s and largely hasn't changed in the last 70 years. And so as we dug into it, we found retirement cases that had so much paper, they had to fit it on a shipping pallet. So the process takes many months, and we're going to make it just many days.
Will it be digitized, or how?
Absolutely. So this will be an online digital process that will take just a few days at most. And I really think, it's an injustice to civil servants who are subjected to these processes that are older than the age of half the people watching your show tonight. So we really believe that the government can have an Apple Store-like experience, beautifully designed, great user experience, modern systems.
Because right now it's by hand.
Yes, the retirement process is all by paper, literally with people carrying paper and manila envelopes into this gigantic mine.
So they can't retire more than a certain number every month?
Yes.
About $8,000 a month.
That's how the reason we discovered it was we were saying, like, well, let's encourage voluntary retirement. They said, well, the most they could do is $8,000 a month. And even under normal circumstances, it can take 6 to 9 months just to have your retirement paperwork processed, and they often get the calculations wrong. So we're like, well, why would it take so long to retire? And they're like, well, because of the mine. And we're like, what do you mean a mine? What's a mine got to do with retiring? And that's where we discovered that all the retirement stuff is still done by paper in a process that looks identical to what occurred in the 1950s. Like if we took a snapshot of the mine when it first started in the 50s to today, it looks the same.
It's amazing. So how long do you think it'll take to turn over?
We're working as fast as we can. Probably next couple of months we'll have this overhauled. And, you know, I really think, again, like, why are we subjecting our federal workers to processes that they actually have to go through a training just to retire from the government? There's a whole training program that people have to go through in order to retire. I think we can do better for them.
Aram Moghadassi, Doge engineer.
Yes, 9 months to retire from the federal government, all paper in this day and age, every bit of it. You have to go to a training program to retire. And that, I mean, you notice there. Now, the media is blowing up that he said, hey, you could have an Apple Store experience. You know what? I'm telling you, watch the entire interview. We're going to do, I want to do a little more because I have 2 more segments today before we get to the Georgia Hour. But go ahead and continue with that.
You go into these places, one of the more than a dozen engineers, first people to go into the agencies and view the computer data sets. Tell me what you're finding, and for people who don't understand how that process works, explain it for them.
Yeah, I'll say the first thing that got me really excited about Doge was learning basically the state of government computers. By some estimates, government IT costs about $100 billion, and it's funding systems that are over 50 years old, in the case of something like Social Security or the IRS. So really critical systems are old, they cost a lot of money to maintain, and they can be, the efforts to improve them are often very delayed. So I thought I'm a software engineer that maybe can make a difference here, and that's really what inspired me at a high level.
There's a lot of mystery about Social Security and a lot of words about it here's what Democrats have been saying about it.
It's absurd that Elon Musk is trying to eliminate billions of dollars from Social Security.
Elon Musk and President Trump have set their sights on cutting Social Security.
Their goal is clear: destroy Social Security from within.
You're in the building. I mean, you're in the computers. What's happening there? What are you doing?
Yeah, it doesn't line up with my experience on the ground. And I'll say the 2 improvements that we're trying to make to Social Security are helping people that legitimately get benefits, protect them from fraud that they experience every day on a routine basis, and also make the experience better. And I'll give you one example is at Social Security, one of the first things we learned is that they get phone calls every day of people trying to change direct deposit information. So when you want to change your bank account, you can call Social Security. We learned 40% of the phone calls that they get are from fraudsters.
40%?
That's right. Almost half.
Yes, and they steal people's Social Security is what happens. Is they call in, they say, they claim to be a retiree, then they convince the Social Security person on the phone to change where the money's flowing. It actually goes to some fraudster. This is happening all day, every day. And then somebody doesn't receive their Social Security. It's because of all the fraud loopholes in the Social Security system.
How do you reassure people that what you all are doing is not going to affect their benefits?
No, in fact, what we're doing will help their benefits. Legitimate people, as a result of the work of Doge, will receive more Social Security, not less.
All right, hold on there. This is a very good interview. Now, the judges, they run to the judges, and you watch out there. They stop them from going in Social Security. Judge today stops them from going into Social Security. You can't touch Social Security. We've always known you can't touch Social Security. This right here, they have a problem with this interview last night. Third, you can't touch the third rail. 40% fraud. 40%. When he goes into Social Security, one of the number one phone calls that go through the Social Security is direct deposit. 40%, up to 40% of those phone calls are fraud, trying to shift a senior citizen that we need to be protecting Social Security into, or stealing it flat out. Now, Chuck Schumer and these lowlifes will come on there and say, we need to protect our Social Security. We need to protect our senior citizens. This is some of the best exposure in this country in my lifetime. I just have to tell you, this is amazing work. And these computer systems, 50 years, we've spent trillions. We have a guy that came out that did not get elected president of the United States, stand before a podium, read a teleprompter, and talk about trillions of dollars we're going to spend to, our infrastructure and modernizing and one thing after another. Keep this going.
I want to emphasize that. As a result of the work of Doge, legitimate recipients of Social Security will receive more money, not less money.
All right.
I want to emphasize that point and let the record show that I said this, and it will be proven out to be true. Let's check back on this in the future.
So, Washington Post, the Social Security Administration website crashed 4 times in 10 days this month because the servers were overloaded, blocking millions of retirees and disabled veterans from logging into their online accounts. Freaked people out. Is that going to change?
Yes, we're going to make sure that the website stays online.
Yeah, but is it a result of going in there or something you're doing?
No. The amount of issues that were with the Social Security system are enormous. As an example, there are over 15 million people that are over the age of 120 that are marked as alive in the Social Security system.
And that's an accurate figure.
Yes.
Correct.
15 million.
Correct. This has been something that's been identified as a problem. Again, pre-existing problems since 2008, at least, from an IG report. So there were some great people working at the Social Security Administration that found this, 2008, and nothing was done. And so 15 to 20 million Social Security numbers that were clearly fraudulent were floating around that can be used only for bad intentions. There'd be no way to use this for good intentions. And so one of the things the Doge team is doing is carefully and very methodically looking at those and making sure that any fraudulent ones are eliminated.
Brad Smith, working at HHS, and obviously another...
I'm going to stop at HHS this morning, Diane. Remember, they called these lies. I'm telling you right now, CNN's not touching this, MSNBC, they're discussing it a whole different way today. This is not exactly just Elon Musk. That guy's Steve. 15 million active, okay? 15 million active Social Security numbers found in 2008. This is of the age of 120 years old, 15 million with the age of 120 years old since 2008, active Social Security numbers. They may not be getting a check, but when you have that, it's all bad intentions, right? Bad intentions. HHS, I might stop there for the morning, but let's go back to HHS, Diane.
Is Medicare and Medicaid, NIH. What are you finding?
Yeah. Well, I'd say there's a couple of things we're really committed to in our work at HHS. Number one, making sure we continue to have the best biomedical research in the world. And number two, making sure, which President Trump has said over and over again, that we 100% protect Medicare and Medicaid. But there's a lot of opportunity. So if I take NIH as an example, today, if you're an NIH researcher and you get a $100 grant at your university, today you get to spend 60 of that and your university spends 40 of that. The policy that we're proposing to make is that you get to spend 85 of that and your university spends 15. So that's more money going directly to the scientists who are discovering new cures. Another example at NIH is today they have 27 different centers. They got created over time by Congress, and they're typically by disease state or body system. There's 700 different IT systems today at NIH.
700 different IT systems.
IT software systems. They can't speak to each other.
And so they don't talk to one another.
They have 27 different CIOs. And so when you think about making great medical discoveries, you have to connect the data.
Time out. You said 27 different chief information officers?
Correct.
And most of them are non-technical.
So there's a lot there.
There's a lot of opportunity. It will make science better, not worse.
And when I say that our job is tech support, I really mean it.
Yeah.
We have to fix the computers. If the computers can't talk to each other, you can't get research done. If the computers can't stay online, people won't receive their Social Security. So what we have here are a bunch of failing computer systems that are preventing people from receiving their benefits, that are preventing people from preventing research from happening, that are extremely vulnerable to fraud, and we're fixing it.
And does that include AI? Does that include kind of changing the system overall? That's, I guess, what people are afraid of, is they don't know what this is all looking like, and is it going to affect me in the long term?
It's going to affect them. It's going to affect people very positively. So the changes that we're doing here will ensure the solvency of the American government, of the United States of America. This is what we're trying to do, is ensure that people do receive their benefits in the future. And you can only receive your benefits if the country is operating in a healthy and competent way.
Sovereignty. I like that word. 700 different IT systems. 700 different. You see, they're not going in, my understanding, they're not going in and trying to cut grandma's benefits. They're not going in and trying to cut services to veterans. They're not going in and trying to cut services to disabilities and people in need. They're not going in and trying to cut food programs that actually do feed poor and needy children in this country. They're not. They're going in and trying to put the government on an efficiency pathway that they can increase those services, the efficiency for you and I, the American people. That's kind of what I see. All right, folks, we're going to take a break. I've got two more quick stories. I want to do a story on the judge, and I want to do Elise Stefanik and the UN. I got to do a couple more stories. Diane, let's take a break.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, where do you see the selection? Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting edge digital technology and state of the art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second to none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender. We take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're going to run through this morning's deep state corporate corrupt media clips. that pull a couple things together that we're talking about. Now, I said this. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching BKP Politics on voiceofruralamerica.com. And Signal Gate, as they're calling it. All right. Now, they found a judge. Let me go through some of this. They found a judge to demand they preserve the documents. But I just want to say this. All right. On parts, cars. So first of all, give me number 65. Let's talk about the tariffs. And yesterday I told you I am really okay with Trump. This is our chance to restore the auto industry in this country. This is our chance to respond forcefully to U.S. auto tariffs. They're angry. They are mad. In fact, they don't trust us any longer. So just thought you might want to know, Canada is really angry. All right. 64. U.S. trading partners blast Trump's new tariffs. Now, the scare tactic, number 63, tariffs to drive up U.S. car prices. So they're angry. They're angry in Europe. Wonder why. So, number 71, you keep hearing this, right? U.S. relies on foreign auto parts. So what they do is 10 million cars built in the U.S. in 2024, 50% of their parts are foreign built. I told you that story yesterday. So, for example, I think you can check Honda is assembled, all right? They don't use the word manufacturer, assembled in Ohio. But the transmission comes from Japan. So what they do is they come over here and they build assembly plants. They, it's like IKEA. You buy it and then you get it over there and put it together. So they go down to Mexico and they build assembly plants. And what they do in the United States is they'll throw us a bone. They'll throw Nissan in Jackson, Mississippi. Yes, there's a Hyundai investment, Kia investment. I get that. Alabama, I think, has Mercedes, right? BMWs in South Carolina. I think we've got some Porsche. Ohio has Honda. I mean, they throw us a bone from time to time. And the reason they'll put an assembly plant in the United States is that helps them avoid import tariffs on these parts. Now, China will put an assembly plant in Mexico, an assembly plant in Canada, or these car manufacturers will, and they'll bring the parts in there. Again, very little, if any, import fees, tariffs, whatever it may be. So U.S. car prices expected to surge. All right, 50% of the parts. Now, this goes way back before your children out there, that we used to have these car part manufacturers. The old days, we called it Mopar, right? But car part manufacturers all across the United States that built different parts of automobiles and had contracts with different, whether it be Ford, Chevy, AMC back in the day, Dodge, Chrysler. So they are doing everything they can. They're very upset. Trump says, hey, you know what? Here you go. Number 82, dollar mixed Mexican peso, Canadian dollar drop on auto tariffs. Number 83, Trump threatens far larger tariffs if EU and Canada unite to do economic harm to the U.S. Number 84, Canada said U.S. is no longer a reliable partner on trade. You're not going to steal from us any longer. How about that? Number 85, Europe stock closes lower as Trump confirms auto tariffs, Jeep maker Stellantis down 4%. Now, by the way, can I let you know, we won't go into the year, that your Jeep is not American made. It's not an American company. Stellantis is not. You do get that, right? Your Dodge truck is not a Dodge Ram from the old days. That old Dodge is not there. You got it. Your Jeep, you got it. So it's not American made, and you're buying foreign products, and they're not even manufactured in this country. I will get to that. Here you go. 86, CNBC, Daily Open, auto tariffs put markets in reverse gear. Oh my God. Now, if Trump will stay the course and not flinch or crack, and I think he will, give me video 11.
We're trying to get approved, if we can. If you borrow money to buy a car, you're allowed to deduct interest payments for purposes of income tax, but only if the car is made in America. So if the car is made in America, you get a loan, you can deduct the interest. That's a big saving. A lot of people in that part of the world, in terms of buying cars, a lot of them don't think in terms of deductions. People that think in terms of deductions are very wealthy people. But people are going to start understanding what a good deduction is all about. So when you get a loan to buy a car, and I think it's going to pay for itself. I don't think there's any cost. I think you're going to have so many cars built. But you're only going to get that deduction of interest if the car is made in the United States of America. So I'm going to sign this. And Mike, I hope you can get that, because I think it's going to be amazing in terms of the number of cars that will be made because of it.
Folks, number 88, Stellantis, okay? It was a created company. We gave Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, we gave it away, right? 2009, bankruptcy. We gave it away. We didn't get American investors. We didn't. And I'm going to tell you what Trump is doing right now. Do not get shocked if a new American-made automobile series of models is created. I think for those out there, for you old birds, sorry, didn't mean it that way. When you start talking about the Hudson and Studebaker and whatever, right? You start talking about those. You remember AMC Motors for some of us older folks, right? And I think right now in the auto industry, I really think it can turn, whether it's electric, whether it's a steam engine, whether, you have a flux capacitor that takes banana peels. I don't care. But I think you have the opportunity to see American investment come together, and we could have a new line of automobiles and dealerships out there. You know, something like a Tesla. Just saying. Stellantis, we gave it away, is a multinational automotive company formed from a merger of Fiat Chrysler automobiles, right? Its headquarters is in the Netherlands. Right, here's more detailed breakdown. Stellantis was created in 2021 through a merger of the Italian-American conglomerate Fiat Chrysler Automobile. We gave it away to Fiat. And the French Peugeot, is that what it's called? The damn French are building your damn Jeep. You can't, I get a little, do I get a little too American, red, white, and blue? The company's global headquarters are located in Hofdorf, whatever, a town near Amsterdam. Stellantis owns a diverse portfolio, Fiat, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Peugeot, and others. They're in Europe, North America. The owners of Stellantis are the Peugeot family of France. Them damn French. Just saying. I'm just saying. So, you know what? I am so tired of hearing them cry. Build the car here, make the car here, or pay the bill. Bottom line. Now, politics. Yesterday, I told you about this, and they're making a big deal. They're making a big deal. Give me number 4. Elise Stefanik, right? She was appointed U.S. ambassador to the UN. Trump pulled the nomination. Now, they're trying to make something out of it. Give me number 13. Axios, they're trying to make something out of it because it comes right off the heels of a loss in Pennsylvania that I brought up yesterday. Number 13, fallout coming for House GOP over Trump's rug pull on Stefanik. President Trump dramatic rug pull on Stefanik ambassador nomination has given House Speaker Mike Johnson a new series of headaches. Let's see. They say Stefanik is very upset over this. Give me number 14. Driving the news, in explaining his decision, Trump undercut the NRCC line that there was no risk of the GOP losing any special election this year. With a very tight majority, I don't want to take a chance, okay? Republicans, Hakeem Jeffries, and we get that, Republicans are afraid they'll lose a special election to replace her. We get that the Democrats are going to try to capitalize off this. And I tell you where it's coming from. Number 19, New York Times, Trump asked Stefanik to withdraw the bid for UN ambassador. And let's go through the other graphic. Let's see. I'm going to want this in just a minute. I'm going to want that. It's from the Pressler, as you know, from yesterday. I'm going to want that one. Hold on a minute. Now, give me number 49. Yesterday, a special election for a Pennsylvania state Senate seat in Lancaster County went to a Democrat. Now, apparently, it's the first time they're saying in this area, if memory serves me correct, it's the first time in 100 years a Democrat has taken the seat. And Scott Pressler said, I asked for help in Pennsylvania and no one helped us. Pennsylvania state legislator special election results. All right. District 36. Pressler's saying, I asked for help. Now, there was a lot of stuff going around the internet yesterday that this was stolen. This seat was stolen. Okay. Now, this is a district that Trump won by 15%. So this is the way the Democrats are spinning it. Trump won this district by 15%. Stefanik's is a plus 20, an R plus 20. And they're thinking, well, Trump won Stefanik's district, Elise Stefanik's district in New York by 20, but could there be another upset? This is the spin. They're trying to breathe life into Democrats. But this is what he said, and immediately some went out there and said, well, it was stolen, and 40, and I'm just going to go with another comment Pressler made yesterday concerning that. Now, Pressler did a lot of work in PA. I didn't report very much on him. I'm not a fan by no means, but he did a lot of work in PA. So give me number 40. And yesterday, after he made this comment, it started going around that it was stolen, and Pressler said, I stand by my comments. You are wrongfully telling people the election was rigged when it wasn't. You have no evidence that there was any wrongdoing in the election. I was on the ground. You were not. By telling people it was rigged, you make it harder to win in 2026. So this battle's ensuing, and he brings up 2026. Now, number 74, GOP leaders raise alarm bells over Florida special election. And I can't remember. I hope I have this correct. Number 75. This is the gentleman, Randy Fine, right? I think Randy is, let's see, I think Randy is running for the 6th. There's 2 special elections in Florida, but here's a teletown hall. I think Randy is running in the 6th district in Florida, and I think this is the 1st district, right? Give me number 76. I hope I don't have them flip-flop there, but there's 2 districts in Florida. Number 77, House Majority Leader on slim Republican majority. The Republican agenda is extremely unpopular. So we expect Jeffries to say that. Number 78, Trump pulls Rep. Elise Stefanik's nomination to be UN ambassador. Make sure I'm finished with that. Yes. So let me give you the spin. Go ahead and give me video 2 this morning, MSNBC, with some of their spin.
Quite time to move on. Not yet, as some GOP senators continue to downplay the Signal group chat scandal, while others call for an investigation into what happened here. The question is, are we starting to see a crack in the Republican Party's blind loyalty as lawmakers demand more accountability? Plus, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik will no longer be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations after President Trump withdrew her nomination before she could even be voted on. The question is, did Trump do this because he's worried about the GOP's slim majority in the House? Also ahead, in a major overhaul, HHS is set to slash 10,000 jobs as part of the administration's move to shrink the government. The question is, what are the consequences, especially when it comes to public health and food safety? It's way too.
All right, so let's go to video 4. The spin continues.
Congressman Stefanik's nomination to be the next ambassador to the United Nations. This was a weird one. The president announced the move on Truth Social, writing in part, with a very tight majority, I don't want to take a chance on anyone else running for Elisa's seat. There are others that can do a good job at the United Nations. Stefanik's House district voted for President Trump by more than 20 points in November, and it was thought to be a safe GOP pickup. But a recent Democratic election win in Pennsylvania Republican stronghold, along with some competitive races in Florida, have Republicans worried for their majority, at least in theory. As it stands, the GOP can only afford to lose 2 votes in the House. Stefanik hinted at the issue yesterday in an interview.
I had my hearing the day after the inauguration. The hearing went incredibly smoothly. It passed by voice, and there's been universal praise for the nomination. The reality is, as Democrats, as we see in New York State, it is totally corrupt. Kathy Hochul started threatening to move the ball on the election day. It was a combination of the New York corruption that we're seeing under Kathy Hochul, special elections, and the House margin. And look, I've been in a House. It's tough to count these votes every day, and we are going to continue to defy the political prognosticators and deliver victory on behalf of President Trump and, importantly, the voters across this country.
Kathy Hochul. Well, as you can see, the spin is definitely in. Now, the Pennsylvania State Senate seat that went Democrat, there's a lot of discussion surrounding that. You know, a lot of discussion surrounding that. Let's go with video 5. And that should be, no, we got one more after that, video 5.
You got to remember here, Trump easily won both Florida districts last November. But the 2 Republicans running in these districts have been significantly outraised by their Democratic opponents. Both special elections take place on Tuesday. Maybe they'll be close, but it would be really shocking if they flipped. And still,
It'd be shocking if they flipped. But we're trying to just create the narrative. All right. This is the last one. This is Morning Joe, followed up, video 7, and then we're going to get out. Video 7.
The things that you're talking about really lead to what we saw yesterday, where Donald Trump told his UN nominee he needed to go back up to the upstate New York district, Jim, which could be competitive. And you say, well, Trump won that by 21 points. Well, Trump won a district, a state Senate district in Lancaster County by 15. And Democrats won there for the first time in 100 years. You know, we know people up there who say, no, we don't elect Democratic senators up here. It just doesn't happen. I think they were even shocked. But again, we've all seen this. We've all been here long enough. This is what happens when you overreach. It's what I've been talking about this for 15 years. There's always back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I've just got to say, this back and forth has happened more quickly because of the pace of events and the shocks over the past 8 weeks. For sure.
And I think that's the danger, right? We have this special.
All right, folks. A spin. I told you yesterday when that election took place in Pennsylvania, what they would turn it into, what they would claim, and what direction they would go in. And Trump pulled Stefanik right before that special election in New York. Now, do I think Stefanik would lose the special election? No, I do not. Or whoever ran in her place. Do I think Republicans, let me get that back, would lose the special election in her district? No. But if it's a Trump plus 20 and the Democrat narrowed it, let's say the Republican running wins by 8 points. To them, it would be a Democrat landslide, or look what has happened in the deepest red area. Trump plus 20 is now down 12 points, just like that, proving it would give the narrative. It would embolden Democrats. It would actually say, well, we have life. Here comes 2026. So there's a lot of political posturing around this move and what happened. All right, folks, we're going to take a break, but before we do, we found this video because since the signal flap and, trying to create a private area for, where journalists can't hear the conversation, we came across this video 6. Just throwing it out there. Pete, hey, try that, huh? All right, folks, when we come back, the Georgia Hour, and in the Georgia Hour, Georgia is the Republican most divided state in America. GRA, the establishment, Freedom Caucus, election integrity, the grifters, the drive-bys, the storm chasers, divided. But Josh McCoon, the chairman, claims he's the great unifier. When we return, the Georgia Hour.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, wait till you see the selection. Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Georgia Hour. I'm your host, BKP, and you're watching voiceofruralamerica.com. Friday morning, I'm reading updates here. Greg Bluestein, MAGA versus Carr, that would be Chris Carr, the Attorney General of Georgia, is a false narrative, said Carr's chief strategist. You can want Trump in Washington and Brian Kemp and Chris Carr in Georgia, which is why Kemp and Carr got 74% of the vote in the 2022 primaries. Interesting. Carr's MAGA gamble, Chris Carr, the Attorney General of Georgia, who is running for governor. Carr's MAGA gamble, the Republicans' high-stakes strategy to satisfy Trump's GOP. Some interesting reads this weekend. Brian Kemp is also the governor of Georgia, acting awful MAGA. All right, so every day we're doing an update on what I perceive as the need to doge the Georgia GOP Inc. All right. It is the need to do that. We're doing that for about 20, 25 minutes every day. We will continue that series. It is my what is my motivation? My motivation is simple, very simple. I don't like corruption. I have no use for it. I talk about it every single day. No use for corruption. I don't like political stunts. And I want to restore the republic for which it stands to the American citizens. And I want that to trickle down to restoring Georgia to hardworking Georgians, as Governor Kemp would say. And what I mean by that, it's time to doge. I feel draining the swamp, okay, in Georgia begins with draining the swamp at the Georgia GOP Inc. Now, we are in the final days of the Georgia legislative session. And in the final days of the Georgia legislative session, it ends next Friday. Exactly next Friday at this time will be the final day, sine die at midnight. So here's some headlines going around this morning. Number 89. We're going to go right through these, Diane, one at a time. Bill restricting puberty blockers for transgender youth in Georgia advances. Now, I look at that there, and I'm like, that should be the bill for mental health right there. She, her, no to all anti-trans bills. Then you have Miss Trans. You have a Tiara. All right. Number 90, legislation regarding the prescription of puberty blockers for transgender minors and banning use of the state health benefit plan for gender-affirming care were approved by the House panel this week. Now, gender-affirming care state health benefits plan, put that and Chris Carr in the Google machine, as Joe Scarborough will call it, and see where Chris Carr is the one that settled the suit. And now the state of Georgia, state employees, your health benefit plan covers gender-affirming care due to Chris Carr. Both bills were approved on party line votes, with Republicans supporting the measure, putting them in position to reach the floor for a full House before the legislative session ends April 4th. Now, here's the next one. The bill regulates puberty blocking medications, was pared down from an earlier version. It would allow minors to be prescribed the treatment only after being separately diagnosed with gender dysphoria by two mental health professionals and after a parent or guardian has signed a written consent form. So you still, after this bill, could prescribe these puberty blockers to minors. This is unreal why they would do that, okay? I think that is a true compromise, Cooper said. This allows for puberty blockers, but it makes it really hard to get. You leave that in a bill, you've opened the door. Okay, next. 92. A parent is going to have to really want and understand and believe their child has dysphoria. Dysphoria, if you have gender dysphoria, you need to not have puberty blockers. You need to be under psychiatric mental health care because you got a problem. All right, so put that one out there. Republicans in Georgia are not conservatives. We showed you this earlier, 93. Carr's MAGA gamble, the Republicans' high-stakes strategy to satisfy Trump GOP. Here is 94. All right. Georgia election bills hurdle towards passage after party line votes. 95, Republican Georgia lawmakers advanced 2 election bills Thursday, setting up a final vote on banning absentee ballot drop-off the weekend before Election Day, prohibiting last-minute state election board rules, and withdrawing the state from the voter registration accuracy organization. Now, remember, that's Eric. But keep this in mind. GOP legislators backed away from one of their most contentious proposals. Ready? Which would have required a hand count on ballots on election night. Now, let me just tell you this. I believe in hand counting the ballots and hand counting them on election night. Now, not to break down, because some people that really work on election security They have it down pat, and I don't want to confuse things. But really, last year, what we were asking to do is the tabulator tape. Oh my God, those tabulators, right? If it said in a precinct that 400 people voted, when we empty the box before any of these ballots were transferred, we wanted to put them in stacks of 10 and see if we had 400 pieces of paper to match. That's what we asked, right? Not results. We were not going for the results. We were going for, the tabulator said 400 people came in. Do we have 400 ballots? And we got shut down. They don't want to see. They don't want to double check. It would take too long. Folks, people can count to 10. All right? We could get 14-year-olds and put them in there and say, count to 10. So GOP legislators backed away from one of the most contentious proposals, which have required a hand count of ballots on election night. The provision no longer appears in either bill. It's gone. It's not there. Period. All right, so we'll move from that. Number 97, both measures, House Bill 397 and Senate Bill 175, this is 97, call for Georgia to quit a 24-state partnership called the Electronic Registration Information Center, ERIC, which exchanges voter information between states to identify outdated registration. ERIC has become a flashpoint among Republicans who say it's ineffective, but Democrats and Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger credit it for finding more than 500,000, half of the 455K voter registration scheduled to be canceled this summer. This is garbage. The system's been there for 5 years. ERIC's been there for 5 years. Why did it take this long? Number one. Number two, they tell you 24 states participate, but they don't tell you how many states have left ERIC, and don't participate. You understand there's 48, right? Lower 48. In Obama's world, what is there, 51, 52? But personally, there's 24. Not even half of the states in the US of A, the Republic, use this system. So it's not the end of the world to get out. Moving right along. Number 98, Kemp would be tied for nation's highest paid governor under salary hike bill. Right. You go wait for $500 at the mailbox or $250 or whatever they plan to send you while he gets a 37% raise. Now, I want you to hear something, and I want you to pay attention for down the road. Down the road, okay? They will claim I'm wrong on this. Number 99, Brian Kemp would be tied for the highest paid. That's New York. Kathy Hochul. The governor's pay would raise from $182 to $250K a year, a 37% hike. That means the two-term Republican would earn the same amount as Kathy Hochul in New York. All right? Now, let's go to 100. The bill would increase the pay for other Georgia officials. You see, now I'm not for sure about state senators and state representatives, okay? And just leave that door open because it's possible. It's possible. But if the governor gets a pay raise, so it's like if a sheriff in your county gets an 8% raise, you do realize that pulls 8% up of every elected official in your county. Your commissioner, 8%. Tax commissioner, 8%. Every elected constitutional county office bumps up. I think it's in the Georgia State Constitution. So what happens here with the governor? Every constitutional office bumps up. Yes. So it's not just the governor. Not just the governor. The bill would also increase the pay for other top Georgia officials, including Governor Burt Jones, who would see his salary more than double to $200,000. Jones, who presides over the Senate, is considering a run for governor next year, said Thursday he would donate any raise he received to charity. Supporters said the raise are overdue, given salaries in private sector and even among others in the state. The proposed raises were attached to a bill, House Bill 86, all right, structured to give judges for the Supreme Court, State Court of Appeals, and statewide judges currently, the salary for each court's judge is spelled out by law. Supreme Court judges, for example, earn a starting salary of $176,506. So everybody's a big word. A lot of people are getting a raise. Number 101, under the Senate bill, other statewide elected officials would make 80% of the governor's starting pay, or $200,000. That includes the lieutenant governor, the agriculture commissioner, attorney general, insurance commissioner, labor commissioner, state school superintendent, secretary of state. 2024 salaries for other elected officials range from 126 to 146. They're all getting a raise. Everybody's getting a raise. You're getting $500 or $250. Go stand there. Now, here's the one. I'm going to stop here. No? Yeah, I want to put this in the next segment because this is where, yes, take a break. Next segment.
When Truck Month is here, the Silverados disappear at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Pick your Silverado 1500 Crew Cab and save up to $12,500. And if you think the discount is big, wait till you see the selection. Come save up to $12,500 off Silverado 1500 Crew Cabs at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Together, let's drive.
Larry's Body Shop in Ellijay. Family owned and operated since 1978. The latest in cutting-edge digital technology and state-of-the-art equipment allow our iCard Gold Class certified technicians to restore your vehicle. Our second-to-none customer service will work directly with your insurance company. Major accident or minor fender bender, we take the dents out of accidents. Larry's Body Shop, North Georgia's #1 body shop. Visit us at collisiondecision.com.
Why give your money to liberal media companies? Put your marketing needs in the hands of a conservative marketing professional and start getting results today. FYN Media Group, one of the top digital marketing agencies in Georgia, specializes in website design and hosting, social media promotion and management, and so much more. Visit FYNmediagroup.com or call 706-889-3564 for a free consultation.
Welcome to El Rey Azteca Mexican Restaurant. We invite you to indulge your senses with our from-scratch authentic Mexican food. Whether you are hungry for fajitas or the El Rey Azteca burrito, we offer a wide variety of fine Mexican dishes, drinks, and desserts. Our inviting patio, indoor seating, and bar has a seat for everyone. So come to El Rey Azteca for delicious food, great drinks, good friends, and loads of fun in a casual and friendly atmosphere.
Ladies, when you wear elegant jewelry, you become a force to be reckoned with. You shine brighter than the stars in the sky, and your inner beauty radiates like the sun. So embrace the magic, embrace the elegance, and let your jewelry be a reflection of your true, authentic self. My friends over at North Georgia Diamond know what a woman wants. Go see them for the perfect gift. And remember, when it comes to elegance, there's no such thing as too much. Come see us at North Georgia Diamond. We're igniting passion one sparkle at a time.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
This is a special report.
Knowing how to invest your money is harder than ever before. Dealing with stock market volatility, record debt, and terrorist attacks requires new thinking. At U.S. Asset Management, we can help you see the world more clearly so that you can move beyond the chaos and invest with confidence. Call us, visit us online, or drop by our office. U.S. Asset Management, helping you make better decisions with your money.
Mesquite Grill, now offering online ordering for your convenience. Check out our new website at mesquitegrillbr.com. That's mesquitegrillbr.com. The great food and service you have come to expect, ready for you when you arrive. Open 7 days a week with a fully stocked bar and friendly service. Bring your furry friends with you and dine on our pet-friendly patio. Also, check out our catering options and let us prepare delicious food for your next event.
All right, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. You're watching the Georgia Hour on voiceofruralamerica.com. Now, there's a reason I wanted to put this together. I almost did this as a separate section, but, you know, I have been of the opinion, and I say of the opinion, that this lady is, and it's my opinion, number 52, is for hire. That's my opinion. I'm not for sure. But there has to be something that she would, there has to be something that she would not stop and take in consideration who she was going against or maybe separating a relationship. This is Debbie Dooley. She continues to separate relationships. We have a GRA. establishment, we'll call it that, the Georgia Freedom Caucus, Mallory Staples and Charlize Byrd. We have the election integrity side of Georgia. We have the grifters. We have the storm chasers. All the above. Now, Josh McCoon, the current chair of the Georgia GOP, Inc., says he's the great unifier. And yet, this individual has been very clear in writing. Her number one job is to defend Josh. Now, I feel her number one job currently is in a circle of defense. Give me number 54. All right. And that circle includes, now, John Fredericks is a bad man, very bad man. And there's Debbie Dooley and Marcy McCarthy and Sally Grubbs. And they do this little thing called the Peach Crew on Wednesday. Now, they have been, and they've been advertising it with Mallory Staples from the Georgia Freedom Caucus. Now, she's not in this group, but she's supposed to be part of it. I don't know. It's not my place to say whether she left. And it seems to be number 56. Here is Sally Grubbs and Debbie Dooley. Now, I think the day that Sophia Farouk announced her candidacy, and I won't mention the name, and someone introduced a video, and it was AI generated. It was AI generated, okay? That if Sally and Debbie, now I can't be 100% with Sally, other than she's very close. That's Sally Grubbs, very bad person, running for first vice chair of the Georgia Republican Party. And she is also involved in another, I mean, we may have a serious problem with a candidate being not being accepted in that race. And we might have some discovery to see if there's any communication with Sally and anyone at the Georgia GOP, Inc. on removing that candidate. But we'll talk about that on a different day. But her and Debbie are celebrating destroying the candidacy of Sophia Farouk in Cobb County GOP chair. But where I'm going with this is the two of them got very upset, and Debbie character assassination over an AI-generated video on the Cobb County GOP caucus day. It was AI-generated. I spoke to people in the back of the room that called me. They claim it's not true. I spoke to people all over that said, everyone, it was very clear on the screen that this was an AI-generated video. And it was Donald Trump through AI saying something nice about Sophia Farouk. It said right on the screen, this is AI generated. So apparently it was clear. But if Debbie Dooley had her way and Sally had her way, they would put Sophia Farouk in jail. What? Now, BKP, you're stepping out there. No, I'm not. Now, let me say this. Yes, they would put her in jail. So, SB 9, that's why I wanted to put these together. SB 9. Give me number 39, okay? And Debbie Dooley, all right? I may do some interpretation of how I read it. I'll put it on the screen. You can read it. I'm not going to misinterpret it, but I want to tell you what I think my opinion may be. Last year, I opposed legislation putting restrictions on AI involving campaigns. Maybe someone encouraged Debbie. Maybe somebody sent some encouragement her way. Just saying. Last year, I opposed it. The incident in the Cobb County GOP chairman's race completely changed my mind. It was disgusting what Team Farouk did. Absolutely disgusting. I am in support of SB 9. I support it. I've changed my mind. I don't care if it's MAGA. Now wait. I am in support of SB 9 and encourage folks to support it. I endorse it. Support it. Get on board. Put Sophia Farouk in jail, saith I. One of the candidates running to lead the Cobb GOP is accusing his opponent of unethically using artificial intelligence to create a fake endorsement from President Donald Trump. There was a small disclaimer in the bottom left-hand corner that said it was AI generated, but of course the only screens were in the front of the room. So people who were in the mid or back of the room, I'm being told, this is the Grubster, Sally the Grubster. No, I won't say it. So people who were in the mid or back of the room, I'm being told there are people who did not see that disclaimer and thought it was real, Grubbs said. So Sally Grubbs, now she does not say here in Debbie Dooley's X statement that she supports SB 9, but Dooley uses her statement. Dooley is upset and she supports SB 9, and she's discussing what Team Farouk did. And if this law was in place, Debbie could bring charges against her for what happened that day. So now let's switch over to here. Number 41. Mallory Staples, the Freedom Caucus. SB 9 is headed to the Georgia State Senate. The Georgia House of Representatives have already dropped the ball, but we're counting on our state senators. Tell your senator to vote no on SB 9. But Mallory, Debbie's telling them to vote yes. Wonder why. Now, one more. She did a video yesterday, and I follow the stuff. And if the Freedom Caucus put something out I disagreed with, I'd do it on the show. But the budget, I mean, Charlize Byrd fights the budget. Charlize Byrd, I'm going to play in a minute. So number 42, call your rep and tell them to vote no on SB 9 unless they've been contacted and encouraged by Debbie Dooley to vote yes. Oh, by the way, Debbie's job is to protect Josh McCoon at all times. I'm going to tell you. All right, so I'm like, wow, that is pretty like, wait a minute, everybody's all over the map now. So if you go and you look at SB 9, right? Had it here. I know I cropped it out. I know I did. Hang tight there, Baba Louie. There it is. Give me number 44. Oh, you can't trust any of these people. You can't trust them. Now, I want to be clear. I did not support this bill. I agree with the Georgia Freedom Caucus. I'm an absolute no on this bill. okay? And my senators and lawmakers know it. SB 9. Now, if you go and read this, you will see there are penalties and possible up to $50,000 and possible jail. This is ensuring accountability for illegal AI activity. Now, you look at who all, John Albers, Sean Still, Jason, I always mess his name up, Bill Cozart, Chuck Payne, all right, Jason Alvanati, and it was sponsored in the House by Brad Thomas. A bill entitled An Act to Amend Part 1, blah, 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 right? General provisions related to obscenity and related offenses so as to repeal and replace code section related to obscene material distributed and penalty. Let's see, related to procedure for sentencing. Wow. And punishment, provide sentencing sentencing for defendants who utilize artificial intelligence in the commission of certain crimes to provide for related matters. Okay, so let me give you this. Debbie begged lawmakers yesterday, number 39, to vote yes, because she would have put Sophia Farouk in jail. That's what I'm saying, right? The Freedom Caucus said no, number 41, right? And give me number 102. Georgia House advances bill targeting deceptive AI in political campaigns. Right? 103, deceptive computer-generated audio and images of politicians are one of the largest targets for Georgia lawmakers as they aim to combat election misinformation, right? SB 9 passed. It's gone to the Senate, 152-12. This is SB 9. Debbie Dooley encouraging. Now, how does Charlize Byrd feel about it? And here we go. I'm going to want this one here, Diane. I'm going to want 34, but not until after we listen to Charlize Byrd on the floor, video 8.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My fellow patriots, I rise in fierce opposition to Senate Bill 9, a bill straight out of Governor of California's playbook, designed to crush free speech and silence we the people. It isn't just bad policy, it is anti-MAGA, anti-America attack on our rights. Last year, Georgians stopped HB 986. Now the radical left is back with SB 9, sneaking it through procedural tricks because they know we would never accept this tyranny outright. It's California's liberal-style censorship criminalizing deceptive media within 90 days of an election. Who decides who's deceptive when 90 days of the election? Who decides who's deceptive? A government board picked by the same establishment that's used to us before? This isn't freedom, it's Soviet-style control. SB 9 could jail you for so-called deception, exposing corruption on felony charges up to 5 years. We already have deception laws for lies that harm. This is silencing dissent, plain and simple. If it passes, Georgia becomes like California, dissenters in handcuffs. To my Republican colleagues, do you want to be the ones who brought California liberalism agenda here to Georgia? This is about liberty itself. It is not voting no. I'm rejecting this unconstitutional assault on the First Amendment with everything I've got. When we come for our first speech, free speech, I am never going to stop fighting. Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
So that's Charlize Byrd, the chair of the Georgia Freedom Caucus. This is from Mallory Staples, the Georgia Freedom Caucus. To my Republican colleagues, do you want to be the ones who brought California liberalism here to Georgia? Well, let's go ahead and put back up #41. SB 9, vote no. And let's go ahead and put up 52. Now, so let me just say this. Vote no. Charlize Byrd. I did not call, and she did not by name. But because Debbie Dooley said, and let's not put that one up because that one we'll talk about later. Let's go ahead and put 39. Where she actually says, I am supporting 9 and encouraging folks to support it. Because she would have, right, she would have put Sophia Farouk and the team or whoever built the video at Cobb County. She would have reported them, pressed charges. Maybe Sally would have helped and been a witness, Sally Grubbs. So she said yes. So Charlize Byrd said, California style to crush free speech. This is anti-MAGA. I didn't say it, Debbie. Anti-MAGA. Radical left. That's what you are. It would jail you. Georgia like California. So you heard the Freedom Caucus. You see what Debbie said, right? My question now go to the Dirty Deeds lady. What's her name? Should probably remember that, 52. So here's my question. Debbie, did you, that's a question, receive any compensation from any lawmaker to participate in trying to pass that bill? Did you? If you didn't, let us know, okay? If you did, let us know. And I don't mean just direct from a lawmaker, did you receive something in a, as, let's see, what did Elon Musk keep saying? Fraud. Because you think it only happens in the federal government. So did you receive something in a roundabout way? Just a question, okay? Why did you carry that water? Why would you go so anti-MAGA? Why would you go against the Freedom Caucus? So now the next question, let's do this one here, is for, SB 9, freedom of speech here, GRA members, 58. So this would be Josh in the red tie, and this is his very, very, very close friend, Travis Bowden, They both wear glasses. They both are very happy to be with each other. Travis he gets very angry. All right. So my question is, Georgia GOP Inc., did you support SB 9? Do you want to call out Debbie Dooley for supporting it, Josh? What is your statement on SB 9 to Republican lawmakers? What do you think? Are you now going to distance yourself from Debbie Dooley, or are you going to acknowledge that she runs defense for you because she put it in writing? Just asking. So go ahead and take that down. Now, this is a real controversy because we're going to be going further into this Monday.
Before you go into that, I got a question. So,
okay, go ahead.
Ideally, shouldn't the GOP be pushing back on lawmakers and kind of doing what the Freedom Caucus is doing and bringing some attention to bills that they're pushing? I mean,
absolutely. These are not Republican values. There should be a statement that these are not Republican values.
So when a Republican lawmaker is doing something that goes against the Republican values, the GOP should be voicing this, correct?
In a modest way, and I don't mind. You're right. In a modest way, the Georgia GOP can't, what I say, call out every single thing all the time, because maybe a lawmaker's constituents want them to vote a certain way, don't want them to vote a certain way. So it wouldn't be appropriate. It's a case by case for every single bill for them to get into the bill. That wouldn't be appropriate. But when it comes to your values, and if it crosses, if your party has a set of values, and it crosses those, that's when a statement should be issued, in my opinion. Meaning, we should be very on freedom of speech and expression.
And we should be hearing something about HB 268 and all the two election bills coming from our GOP.
I'm not going to agree on 268 because I'm not going to agree on that. That would take some time to talk that out. I'm not saying you're wrong. I want to be very clear because, as you know, on this show, well, both of us oppose that, okay? But on the election bills, all right, there should be a statement this morning somewhere about the hand counting the ballots. There should be a statement this morning somewhere about why are we not getting all of the changes. All right, here I'll give you this. Now you push me down this road and we have to get out because I want to finish something. But Josh McCoon, well, thank you, Diane. You pushed me right down this road. Josh McCoon, chairman of the Georgia GOP Inc., brags, right, about winning the election for Donald Trump, right? Stay with that. He brags all the time about the election and electing Donald Trump. But he does not go a step further and support Donald Trump's agenda and Donald Trump's statements. So for me, if I was, and I'm not going to be, and I'm not running for office, but if I'm the Georgia GOP Inc., but if I was chairman, it would no longer be Inc., but that's another story. So if I am chairman of the Georgia GOP and I'm going around the state bragging about getting Donald Trump elected and what a great job I did, because that's the way it is, it's Josh McCoon's world, and we're all just living in it when it comes to the Georgia GOP Inc., I would be going out there on maybe a daily basis, 3-4 times a week, supporting the president that I brag I got elected agenda. So, for example, the Georgia GOP should have written a full statement when Donald Trump looked at the governors and said, here is the criteria that I want for elections. On that same day, the Georgia GOP should have said, this afternoon at a lunch where all governors of the United States was in attendance, President Donald Trump laid out the path for securing our elections. We here at the Georgia GOP support our president and ask our lawmakers in Georgia to get on board with this agenda and pass it in this legislative session. But no, you got crickets, right? Crickets. So I could give you on and on and on. You see what I'm saying, Diane? Where not only there should be support from the party, from the guy that brags about getting him elected. You follow what I'm saying? Now.
Yep, got it.
You got it. Okay. We'll get further into that Monday. I like where you went on that. I think there should be a statement on this freedom of speech. Now, I'm going to show you a couple things. Are you ready? Because this is coming back Monday. We're going to do this every day. Number 53, I think if we can get, well, I'll leave it for Monday. Because he has full control. He is a king. He is a dictator. We have to doge the Georgia GOP Inc. We have to. Now, they're going around saying, well, it's a scare tactic. It's a scare tactic. Every time there's an election calling for an audit. And then Josh went somewhere the other night. I'm gonna get the video out, and I want to do this correctly next week. We're going to do it all next week. He goes somewhere and he says, you know, the first executive meeting of the executive committee of the Georgia GOP Inc., I asked everyone there if they wanted a forensic audit, and nobody raised their hand. I'll go into more detail. What Josh doesn't tell you is the approximately 8 to 10 minute scare speech he gave before. You know, what it was going to do, it was going to scare donors. If we do it, this would happen. If we do it, this would happen. And after you're sitting there like, okay, well, now do you want it? So he's going around saying, I offered it and nobody took it. Well, that's after he told you there was poison in the lemonade. You don't drink it, right? So anyhow, now, this is happening. We got to get out right here, right? Thursday, April 17th, 2025, Josh claims, I'll put it like that, he has another event. He will not attend, and my opinion is because Ron Hooper is hosting this and his group. And when Josh gets mad, you go on an enemies list, and we in this area, these people went on Josh McCoon's enemies list. I'll tell you about that later. Josh McCoon makes an enemies list, and once you're on it, and you're well, anyhow, SOL. But you see, first vice chair, Sally Grubbs, Alice Olenek, and Lisa Pierce. Now remember that right there, because there's a scandal, yes, brewing. We're going to be putting the rule up next week. We're waiting. Now, you have that. Now look at number 50. Chairman, candidates, David Cross, Josh McCoon, first vice chair, Sally Grubbs, Alice Olenek. Where's Lisa Pierce? How come she's not on there? I know her intent to run made it before the deadline, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, Brad Barnes, Noreen Cantor. Noreen is a good person. That's the bottom line. Somebody called me yesterday and said, I'm looking at second vice chair. And we went through there. Betsy Kramer, it shouldn't be called, if she's elected, it shouldn't be called second vice chair. It should be, I'm Betsy Kramer, and I will report everything I can find out to Marcy McCarthy, Josh McCoon, and Sally Grubbs. Anyhow, and I don't know why Zappendorf is running. I know Brad Barnes. He's a nice guy. Noreen Cantor is just a good person. That's what I told somebody. Noreen's a good person. She will do a good job. And that's not a quote endorsement, but she will. Treasurer, assistant treasurer, secretary, assistant secretary. I'm going to be talking to Jaquan here real soon. Caroline Jeffords needs to go on with life. She just does. She needs to go on with life. We know why she's on the ballot, why she put her name on there. But you see, Lisa is missing, right? Period. Real scandal. Sally Grubbs, could you check into that? Because I'm for sure you want voter security, voter integrity, and you don't want to run in a race for first vice chair that all candidates qualified are not given that opportunity. So Sally Grubbs, please check into that. Now, as we go, so we can get the first of the week started, I have it here. Now, look at this one here. I got to get out, Diane. I promise. I just need to show this one, and we'll work on this one Monday also. Give me number 43. And I'm going to show you what is interesting here, okay? Now, if you are a state delegate, and I don't care where you're at, I don't care if you're in Savannah, Columbus, Valdosta, I don't care if you're in Hiawassee, Athens. If you are a state delegate and you are able to cast a vote at the state convention, you should at any time the candidates are being presented, you should at any time be able to attend. Now, a forum with the Georgia Republican Party chairman candidates. Janelle King will be the moderator, Josh McCoon chairman, and the challenger in this corner, David Cross. Presented by Cherokee County, Cobb County, DeKalb County, and Fulton County. Now, look at the bottom. Complimentary admission. Complimentary admission. Now, I got to look that up. Does that mean they could discriminate? Does it? Does it mean they can pick and choose? Does it mean, hey, we're letting you in, we don't have to? I want to check that complimentary admission out. Could somebody clear that up? Then pre-registration required. Why? Why do I have to pre-register for this event? Why? Who's getting the data? Right? Who's getting the data? Why are you collecting data? I want to know. Well, Josh, I'm for sure that you're not collecting data, or no one's helping you collect data, or Sally or Marcy or somebody like that. I'm for sure of that, right? And I'm for sure that your team, the McCoon team, on your complimentary admission, let's say 1,000 people could come. You're not trying to make sure 800 are on your side, 200 on the other or something. So can we clear this up? All right, let's have a good weekend. Travis, take a break. You know, I know you go on there and you cry over Josh all day on the Signal groups. Debbie, I hate you left MAGA. I hate you turned your back on the Georgia State Freedom Caucus. I hate that the Georgia GRA is stuck in the middle of this and can't make a clear determination because the Georgia GRA endorsed Sophia Farouk for chair. But then again, if Debbie Dooley had her way, she would have Sophia Farouk arrested. Oh, my God. Monday, 8 a.m. I'll see you. I'll be there unless